Hi, hello. I have too many books to go through again. Let's get into it, shall we? Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Jenny and welcome to my August and September book haul. So I've got food in the oven. I have got 15 minutes to go through these books. As you could probably tell just now, I have a mountain to go through, so this is going to be fairly speedy. I did the thing that I've done before where in August I didn't buy many books and I was like, I am so freaking great at this whole, mindfully acquiring books. I am not. That was a lie. In September I went completely over the top and I have bought too many books. So let's get into it. We're going to, as always, start off with the books that I have been very kindly sent by publishers. This stack here. So to start off with, we've got Anderson Press, who have sent me The Boy I Love by William Hussey. This is an advanced copy. It comes out in January, and this is a book that I am working on. It is a really beautiful story of it's a love story set in World War One, and I cannot wait to read it. From Penguin, I got sent He, She, They. This is a non-fiction by Shyla Baylor, all about pronouns and gender legislation. I'm very interested to read this one. I think it's going to be a really important read. From Bloomsbury, I got sent The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I am working on this book. This is the new Samantha's Preferred version, and yeah, I'm excited to read this one. I have read The Bone Season before, but I read the old version, so I'm excited to read the new preferred text and see if I prefer it. Also from Bloomsbury, I got sent Impossible Creatures by Catherine Rundle. This book, this one came out last year, and I believe it was Waterstone's Children's Book of the Year for 2023. I'm very excited to read it. I really enjoy Catherine Rundle's books, so again, just very, very keen to read this one. It is going high on my middle grade TBR. From Michael Joseph, I believe, I got sent This Cursed House by Del Sandine. This is a bound manuscript. There aren't even proofs of this one, so this is a very advanced copy. I believe this one comes out in October, but yeah, they didn't have proofs, so I got sent a bound manuscript, which I'm very excited by. This one is, I believe, a debut kind of haunted house southern horror. I'm excited by this one. Also from Michael Joseph, I got sent Heads Will Roll by Josh Winning. This one is a kind of ghost story slasher, I believe. Again, very excited. Set in a summer camp for adults. Can't wait. From Viking, I got sent Heavenly Bodies by Imani Eriu. This one comes out in November. Again, hyped to read it. It looks absolutely stunning. I believe this one is a fantasy romance. I'm excited by it. From Tor Books, I got sent Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Clune. Again, high up on my TBR. I'm just checking to see if there's anything under the dust jacket. There is not. This one I want to read very soon. Very excited by this one. And from Zafir Books, I was sent Guilty by Definition by Susie Dent. This one is Susie Dent's debut fiction. It is a murder mystery about a sort of murder that's someone who, I think it's someone who works at the Clarendon English Dictionary, has to kind of find out how this murder is happening, all about words. I'm very excited to read this one. This one, again, is very high on my TBR. So, as always, thank you very much to all of the publishers that have sent me books. I am very excited to read all of these ones, and again, we'll be aiming to read and review these ones at some point in the next couple of months. Doesn't always happen, but the aim is there. Let's move on to section. Okay, the second very large pile is books that I have bought brand new. This pile is fairly large. So I'm going to start off, we've basically got two sections here. We're starting off with the books that I pre-ordered that I may or may not have forgotten about pre-ordering. So Queen Bee by Juno Dawson. I love the Her Majesty's Royal Cabin series. This is the third book. Well, I guess it's really like it's a 0.5 novella. This one doesn't follow the same storyline. This one is back to the origins with Anne Boleyn. Very excited to read this one. I also pre-ordered Richard Osman's We Solve Murders. This is a new series by Richard Osman, following I think it's not a father-daughter, I think it's a father-stepdaughter or daughter-in-law. I think it's, yeah, daughter-in-law and father-in-law duo who solve murders. Amazing. I adore the Thursday Murder Club, so I'm very excited to see something else by Richard Osman. And then one of my most anticipated books of the year, Think Again by Jacqueline Wilson. I have read this one. There is a Jacqueline Wilson reading vlog that I will link up here so you can get my thoughts on this one. This is Jacqueline Wilson's adult debut, and it follows Ellie, Magda and Nadine from the Girls series, now as adults in their 40s or turning 40. I then did an order on The Works. So the reason that I bought books on at The Works was because I wanted Daydream, and The Works has this very gorgeous sprayed edge edition. As you can tell, I'm currently reading this. This is the third book by Hannah Grace. We're following Henry and Hallie, and I adore it already. Like, I'm about 2/3 of the way through. I'm already loving it. It's fantastic. I also, again, because it was The Works and I have no chill, I obviously had to buy some other books there. So in the, I think this, I did a 3 for £5 on these three. So I wanted to get Hopeless by Elsie Silver. This is book 5 in the Chestnut Springs series, the one that I don't yet own. So this one is on 3 for £6, so I picked that one there up. I also, I don't know which one was in the 3 for 6, but I also picked up After They Killed Our Father by Luan Young. I read First They Killed My Father years ago when I lived in Cambodia. This is a story around the Khmer Rouge and the Cambodian genocide. I really enjoyed the first, I don't want to say enjoyed, it's the wrong word, but I found the first book incredibly moving, incredibly interesting to read. So I'm excited to continue the memoir series, I guess. I also picked up Beyond the Wand by Tom Felton. I don't really know what I think about this one, I'll be totally honest. I picked it up out of curiosity. I am intrigued in this. I'm not the world's biggest Tom Felton fan, but I'm interested to read his story. I think I might audiobook it, but there's a load of like photos in here, so yeah, we'll see. From The Works as well, I picked up The Au Pair Affair by Tessa Bailey. This one is the sequel to Fangirl Down. Fangirl Down is a golf romance. This one is a hockey romance. I'm in my hockey era, so I'm excited to get to this one. Plus, I just love Tessa Bailey. I picked up The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. This is their new book. I don't know what it's about. Yeah, no idea really what it's about, but I am excited to read it. I picked up A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julia Murphy and Sierra Simone. If you have been around my channel, you'll know that I adore this series. I have read this one before. I just wanted to physically own the book. I've read the whole series on ebook. I will be collecting them physically as and when I can. Plus, I then finally picked up The Fake Out and Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. I don't know what these books are about. They're the Vancouver Storm, I think. Yeah, the Vancouver Storm series. They're hockey romances. That's the whole reason I bought them, is they're hockey romances. So again, part 2 here, the books that I paid full price on. Lots there, to be totally honest, probably too many there. But yeah, I am excited by all of them, and I'm really happy that I've already read, I'm counting Daydream as already read because I'm like 2/3 of the way through it. So of that pile, I've already read 3 of them. So I think, again, I know I'm going to get through these ones and I'm excited. We then have the third big pile, so big that I've actually split it in 2 in front of me. These are the books that I did not pay full price for. So these are the books that I picked up in charity shops, book swaps, gifted from friends, and Vinted, of course. I fell back on Vinted. So let's go through them. First of all, I've got Reprieve by James Han Matson. This one is the Waterstone Sprayed Edge edition. I was gifted this one by my friend Alexis. I think it's a horror set in a haunted house, haunted escape room. I don't really know very much about what it's about, but I am trying to read more horror, and I like the sprayed edges. From Vinted, I picked up Gemina and Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. So last month, I read Illuminae, and I'm very excited to finish off, or at least continue the series. These are sci-fi kind of space operas. They are told entirely in mixed media, and kind of different mixed media as well. So, you know, we've got things like, oh, can't find where we are now. Designs, there's yeah, there's just a lot in there. We've got, just saw then, a load of photos. It's a really interesting story, like writing style, and I loved Illuminae, gave it 5 stars. So picked up those 2. Again, from Alexis, I've got gifted The Sky and the Deep by Adrienne Young. This one is part of my friend's book swap. So this one has come from Juliana, who has read and annotated. Alexis has read and annotated. I'm going to be reading and annotating this one, and then passing it on to someone else in December when we meet up. This one is, I believe, a Viking. Yeah, a Viking fantasy. Probably got a bit of romance in there. Again, I think it's YA. I don't know a huge amount about it. I want to go in fairly blind. In a book swap, I picked up The True Blood Omnibus by Charlene Harris. Don't ask. I've been wanting to watch True Blood again for years. So basically, I watched True Blood about 10 years ago. I remember watching it when I lived in Cambodia. So that was like 2013, 2014. And this year, last year as well, but this year I was really like, I want to rewatch True Blood. Can't find it anywhere. I think I need to get, I think it's on Now TV, but that's yet another streaming service that I don't want to have to pay for. But I saw this in a book swap. This is the first 3 novels, so it is enormous, but this is 3 books. And I thought, well, if I can't watch the show, why not read the books? I have no idea whether or not I'm ever going to get to that one, but we'll see. And next, this one, again, picked up in the book swap. This one is probably slightly naughtier. This is Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen. The reason why this is probably slightly naughtier is 6 months ago I unhauled this book and put it in the book swap. It's still there, and I was like, do you know what? I want to read this book. So I hauled it again. This book is about Mamiwata, so they are mermaids from West African mythology, and they collect the souls of people, they collect the souls of people who die on slave ships. I have met Natasha Bowen, she's fantastic. I wanted to read this one when it came out years ago, and it's just always been one that I've put off. But I sort of felt like, because it'd been sat in a book swap for 6 months and nobody else took it, it's fine for me to have taken it back. So yes, I know that's naughty and it really has to be bumped straight up the TBR. I then picked up, again on Vinted, One of Us is Back by Karen M. McManus. This is the third book in the One of Us is Lying series. This is the one that came out last year. And I think once I've read this one, this will get me pretty much up to date with Karen M. McManus's books. She has got a new book out, which I don't remember the name of. But I like to get her paperbacks, so even though she has got a new book out, I'm not going to be buying it in hardback. So yeah, One of Us is Back, I think, will get me pretty much up to date with where I want to be. In a charity shop, I picked up Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. This is one of Tessa Bailey's Christmas romances. Last year I read, what's it called? Window Shopping, which is her other Christmas romance, and I did really enjoy it. This year I'd like to read Wreck the Halls. I like Christmas romances. Again, in a charity shop, actually only yesterday, I picked up The Rhythmatist by Brandon Sanderson. This one I don't believe is part of the Cosmere. I think this one is a YA standalone. When I look online, it says that there will be a sequel to it, but this was published in 2013, and Brandon Sanderson hasn't revisited it and written the sequel. So, as he's not someone who typically leaves projects unfinished, I assume this can be read just as a standalone and is like finished, and if there's another book in the future, it's going to be kind of a book that kind of goes alongside rather than has to be read in order, I guess. Anyway, picked up The Rhythmatist. Don't really know what it's about. I think it's about magic schools. Don't know. On Vinted, I picked up a pile of books. We've got Dreadwood by Jennifer Killick. This one is again I think this one might be a middle grade horror. It might be YA, but it's, I think it's a middle grade horror. And it's about 4 children who have to go to school on a Saturday and things just start going wrong. I'm excited to read it. I'm trying to read more horror. Cast of Tangled Magic, I'll be totally honest, this is by Sophie Anderson. I bought this one to make part of a bundle, because I may as well. I have read this one before. I do enjoy Sophie Anderson's books, and I didn't own this one physically, so I bought this one just to own it physically. The 12 Dates of Christmas by Lisa Dickinson. Again, I haven't read this one before, but I have friends who have read it before. And I believe that this one is a woman who goes on 12 dates in the lead up to Christmas with different men to try and find like the one, something like that. It sounds like it's going to be a fun Christmas romance. Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. This one sounds like a much more creepy Riley Sager. This one is, I believe this is based on the Amityville Horror, which, by the way, I saw in the cinema. I don't like horror films. I saw the Amityville Horror in the cinema when I was 15, and it has terrified me since then. I don't know what it's about, but I do know that like any recurring nightmare that I've had in the sort of 20 years since I saw that film has been because of the Amityville Horror. It's probably not actually that scary, but it terrified me. So this one is about someone who, her family moved into a rambling estate. They spent 3 weeks there before fleeing in the dead of night. So yeah, I am excited to read this one. I will be scared of it, but I am excited to read it. Hex Education by Maureen Kilmer. I think this one is going to be a kind of Halloween romance, and I'm here for it. And because earlier this month I read Divine Rivals, I picked up the hardbacks of Divine Rivals on Ruthless Vows. Again, found them on Vinted. They were fairly cheap, so I picked these up. I loved Divine Rivals. It was so good, so much better than I was expecting. Even though everybody told me it was great, I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did. So yeah, I'm excited to get to. So my last pile here is BookBox Bookses. BookBox Books. Books from BookBoxes. I feel like I'm missing some. I don't know what I was meant to get last month, so I don't know what, but whatever. we're over it. The books that I got, so last month's Illuma Crate was The Phoenix Keeper by S.A. McLean. I have just read this book. It is fantastic. I loved it so much. And also look at the stunning sprayed edges. Again, I will link my book box battle where I talk about all of these books. The adult fairy loot book for August was Long Live Evil by Sarah Rees Brennan. Again, absolutely stunning. I am very intrigued by this book. I think it's a really interesting concept. I didn't pick it up because I didn't in book box battle because I was more intrigued by The Phoenix Keeper. But yeah, I think this one could be good. I'm excited by it. And the Fairy Loot Adult September box is The Gods Below by Andrea Stewart. Again, I don't really know very much about this one, but it sounds intriguing. I've read the first chapter. It did intrigue me, and again, very stunning sprayed edges. So that was my enormous book haul over the last 2 months. Do I even want to count up how many books I bought? Do I want to? That was 40 books. 40 books over 2 months. That is getting back into my same old bullshit, isn't it? Whew. And there I was thinking, wow, I've finally got a bit of space on my shelves. Not anymore, we don't. But please do let me know if you have read any of the books that I have hauled today. And what books you recommend that I read next. If you like this video, please leave me a like, subscribe. If you want to leave me an emoji just to let me know you were here, leave me some sort of like witchy emoji, because we've got quite a few kind of horrors and things like some sort of Halloweeny scary emoji. I don't know which one. Dealer's choice. You pick. Anyway, if you have made it this far through the video, I love you the most, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.